Good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss the sixth poem of 11th standard, that is a Holocron, written by William Shakespeare. It is taken from the play from Richard II. Let us discuss. First we will discuss about William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was born on 1564 and he was passed on 1616. So its lifetime is 1564 to 1616. This will be helpful for you for writing any public service exams. So note down this. An English poet and the playwright is widely regarded as the greatest writer in English language and the world's preeminent dramatist. So he is the greatest writer in English language as well as he is a world preeminent dramatist, means he is famous in the world for writing dramas. He was born and brought up in 1564, I said, and the place that is a Stratford upon Avon. This is the place, okay. Warwick district, okay. Stratford upon Avon, Warwick district. He wrote about 37 plays. He wrote 37 plays as well as 154 sonnets. Already in the second poem we had discussed about what is sonnet. The sonnets consists of 14 lines. That is a sonnet. In lower classes also we had studied so many sonnets. Okay, like Tirukural consists of 2 lines, like sonnets consists of 14 lines. Okay, so the 2 long narrative poems as well as he had written 2 poems also. That is a long narrative poems. So his works is he had written 37 plays, 154 sonnets and 2 poems. Okay, the first he was often called as a England national poet. He is often called as a England national poet. England's national poets. Desiya Kavi, in Tamil we used to say that is a national poet. India Desiya Kavi. Likewise he is often called as a England's national poet. And his nickname was Brad of Avon, because by including the name which he was born, so he was called the nickname Brad of Avon. This is his nickname. And the first publication of Shakespeare work is the First Foil. The first publication is the First Foil. The First Folio. Sorry, the First Folio. Playwrights and by Ben Jonson wrote his preface of this book including the quotes. So this is translated by Ben Jonson. So in this first publication, in the preface means in the beginning of the book they have a page and they will say what is the book consists of and what is the thing is going to describe. You go through your textbook, even our textbook will have a preface, okay. So this is a preface. See the first page of your book where the content starts, that is a preface. In this preface they will explain about what is the thing, what is the special features it has and what are the units we are going to, that is a just they are going to introduce the thing what you are going to learn in that particular book, that is a preface, okay. So in this preface of the book, Ben Jonson, he had given one quote, he had given the quote, that is the quote is, Shakespeare is not only of an age but for all time. Shakespeare is not only for age but for all time. It means it's play whenever we read. If you already I had told you he was born in the year 1564 and he passed in 1616. So that is the 16th century. We have to imagine he till today 2021 we are reading his play and it is common to all. Like Tirukural is, we consider that as a Ulaga Podumurai. So it is common to all the people. It says the moral values to wherever the people live, all the people in the living in the world, and whenever the time it evergreen thought. So likewise, this Shakespeare play is also considered to be evergreen. It suits to all the people, those who are living in the different part of the world and all the time. His plays has been translated into every major living language and are constantly studied and performed throughout the world. So all his throughout the world, as already I told you, it is for all time, all the people. Okay, simply we can think that. So Shakespeare is such a great eminent dramatist. Let us discuss about what he had said in the Richard II and what are the things that already I told you. He had written only 2 poems. In that it is an extract which is taken from the play, that is from the Richard II. Okay, so few things you have to remember. One is the Shakespeare, when and where he was born, and what are the name he got, that the England's national poet, and what is his nickname, and what is the thought the Dr. Ben Jonson had described about him, and what is his first publication. Okay, so these are the things you have to remember about Arthur. Okay, now we will discuss about what he had written in the poem. Mostly Shakespeare plays are divided into 3 categories. One is a comedy, tragedy and historic. Comedy means it's end with happiness. Okay, tragedy means it's end with sad, and historical play means it depends on some history, it's based on some historical event, that is a historical play. Okay, let us see. This play is also a historical background play. Even this play is the only play he had written in the form of verses. Verses means in the poetic form. Had used metaphor, personification, all like the poetic device. What are the things we will use in the poem? All this poetic device, some of the poetic device are used in this play also. Okay, and also he had written this as a free version. Free version means that he won't follow the rules and regulations of certain things which we have to follow in writing poem, but it all he had written in the form of verses. Okay, let us see. The poem is an extract from the William Shakespeare play King Richard II. So this is the extract which is taken from King Richard II. The play is based on the true event that occurred towards the end of the 14th century. So this play is going to explain us about the 14th century. Okay. Richard II was crowned the king of the England in the year 1364. That's why I told this going to explain us what is the incident which has happened in the 14th century, and Richard II was crowned in the year 1364. Okay, so this is a story is going to explain about the 14th century, what the incident was happened. He continued to be the British monarchy until 1399. So he was crowned at the very young age of 10 years. At the 10-year-old itself he crowned. He become a king, and he was the king up to 1399. Okay. So what will happen after that we will see. When he was deposed by his cousin Henry of Bolingbroke, who crowned himself the King Henry IV in the same year. So in the year of 1899, the Henry of Bolingbroke. So he himself crowned himself as a king, the Henry IV. So the Henry of Bolingbroke, the cousin of Richard II, at the year of 1399, he himself crowned himself as the King Henry IV. King Henry IV. Okay, King Henry IV. So this is the background. So you have to know the historical background. This is the extract which is taken from the Shakespeare play, the Richard II, and this play explains about the background of 14th century. Richard was crowned as a king in the year of 1367 at the age of 10, and he up to 1399 he was as a king. On that same year, Henry was deposed him. The Henry of Bolingbroke, his own cousin, he deposed him, and he himself crowned himself as the King Henry IV, and he became a king. And what has happened at that we will see. Shakespeare's play is a dramatic radiation. Dramatic radiations means the radiation. Dramatic means the play which we will act, that is dramatic. Radiations means it will bring the scene. Okay, what is the incidents which happen in their life, the story, it will converted into scenes, that is a rendition. Of the last 2 years of the King Richard II's life. So, in this play, in this poem, the Hollow Crown, the Shakespeare had explained about the last 2 years, what has happened in the life of Richard II. Okay, so this is a poem which is going to explain us about the incident which has happened in the last 2 years of the King Richard II. In his brief span of time, he was ousted from his royal position and sent to prison, where he was died in captivity. So, ousted means we are bringing down from the power, that is ousted. O-U-S-T-E-D. Bringing down from the power, okay, or declining them, making them powerless, that is that will be powerless. Okay, so he made him powerless and he bringing down from his royal position, and the Henry IV, he sent him to the prison. At that captivity he was passed away. Okay, he died in that captivity, and the capture he passed away. The following extract is set in the coast of the Wales. So, this is extract which is the poem which we are going to learn. This is have the background at the place, the coast of Wales. So, it is a coastal scene he is going to explain. Wales. Okay. The King Richard and some of his followers awaited the arrival of the Wesley army after facing defeat in the hands of his cousin Bolingbroke of about 10,000 warriors. But to their shock and the surprise, they received the message the army are not coming to their rescue. His followers tried to boost their king's courage against the news, only in the vain. When Richard comes to face with the reality of this terrible fact, he spoke the following verses, famously known as the Holocron speech in the theoretical circles. In this, King Richard is reminded of the power of death that overshadowed everything else, including the power of rulers, renders them as powerless as any commoner at that moment noticed. So, this is a background which is going to held in the coast of the Wales. After get defeated from the Bolingbroke, his cousin, the Henry IV, and they are expecting some supports from the army, some other army. They had at last they come to know they are not ready to help them. So, this is a great shock for them. It is a surprise for them, because they have a hope. Here he had lost his hope, and there is no chance for them to win. So, at the moment of the defeat, okay, so at this moment he is giving the speech to the people of his own followers, thinking like a common man, what he will speak when he have only the death and the death that overshadowed him. At the time he is giving some speech to the follower. So, this is a thing which is going to explain in this poem, the Holocron. Okay, let us see. First, they had given us first a read of the complete poem, then read silently, try to answer the question briefly based on your understanding. You may refer to the glossary given in the end of the monologue to help you. So, at the end they had given the explanation of particular lines and the phrases. So, if you read that, you will understand well. Okay, and you go through the glossaries also, because it is a old English. Most of his plays are written in the 14th century. So, some words are used here, all the old English which is not in usage. Some, not all, few words will be in the old versions will be there. So, for your better understanding, they had given us the glossaries as well as the explanation for certain lines. Okay, this is a monologue. At the beginning itself I told this is a speech is going to render by Richard to his followers. Okay, let us see. So, this is a thing we have to remember in this, the beginning, the background of it is a historical play, historical background play. From that he had taken some topic, the speech which is rendered by the Richard II under the name of the Hollow Crown. So, this is going to explain us the last 2 years of the Richard II life, and this is happening in the place, the coast of the world, and at the same Henry, it is going to talk about the 14th century. He was crowned as a king in the year of 1367, and he was as a king up to 1399. At the same years, he was defeated by the Henry of Bolingbroke, and he deposed him, and he himself, Henry of the Bolingbroke, he declared himself as the King Henry the IV. Okay, and he made himself the powerless, and he had sent to the prison he died in the captivity. Let us see what this poem says us. So, here another one reason is there why he was defeated, because he was very careless at the age of very young age, at the age of 10 itself he come to the power, and he don't know what to do, and he will make a rule of his own. He is not that much good efficient king. Okay, that's why, that is also the another reason why he got failed. Okay, see, let us go to the poem. Let's talk of graves, of worms, and the epitaphs. Make dust of a paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors and talk of wills, and yet not so, for what can we bequeath, save our deposed bodies to the ground, our land, our life, and all are the Bolingbroke's, and nothing can we call our own but death, and that small model of the barren earth, which serves as the paste and cover to our bone. For God's sakes, let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the death of the king. So, at the last I told you that he is in the end, he is in the point of death, and the death had overshadowed him. At the time he is rendering the speech in the name of Hollow Crown. So, let us talk of the grave, you all know, the grave means the dome, the color. So, let's talk of graves, the worms, and the epitaphs. It means the person, in Tamil we used to say after the death, அந்த ஒரு வாக்கியம் பொறிப்பாங்க ஏதாவது ஒரு, they will write something on the graveyards, that is the thing. So the last he is going to talk about the grave, the worms means insects, pulu we used to say, that all last he is talking about the thing which we are going to discuss after the death, that is the thing he is talk about the graves of worms and the epitaphs. Must make dust of paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. So he came to the mid of the street. He don't have any power, he don't have anything, he doesn't have any property, he was nothing in front of the God. So he don't have a power. If he don't have the power, he is nothing. So he lost everything. If he defeat in the battle, what will happen? He will lose anything. So he is on the end of the death. So at the time, make dust of paper with the rainy eyes. So he is going to write something. For that he don't have a paper. So he is going to try to write something on the dust. Okay, மண்ணில் எழுதி வைப்போம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. With the rainy eyes, he don't have anything, so he is shedding his tears, the sorrow, the right sorrows on the bosom of the earth. Bosom means the chest of a bird, we will say bosom, chest அப்படிங்கிறத bosom we will say. So here the sorrow on the bosom of the earth. So he is going to write what are the sorrow he is facing, that he is going to making the dust as a paper, and his rainy tears, the eyes, it means the tears, is going to write his sorrow by using the tears. Okay, so you have to imagine how much pathetic condition he was. And let's choose the executor and talks of will. So now after this he is thinking that let him call the executor. Executor means the person who will obey if I instruct anybody, if someone did my work, that is the executor, the person who implement the task, that is called executor. So here let's choose the executor and talk of wills. So here who will write the wills, they are called executor. Okay, the judges or lawyers, in normal now we will say lawyer will write the wills. So he is calling the executor and they are going to write some wills. And yet not so, for what can be we bequeath, save our deposed bodies to the ground. So again he is telling, and yet not so, he is not going to call any executor. Why? Because what can we bequeath? Bequeath means we can offer or we can give. Save our deposed bodies to the ground. Only thing is there, he had lost the power of the king and he had lost everything. He don't have anything. Only thing he has is a body. Okay, that is a deposed body to the ground. So only thing he can give, that is his body to the ground. நம்ம இறந்த பிறகு நம்ம என்னது இந்த உடம்பு என்னது இந்த மண்ணுக்கு போகும். So only thing he has remaining in his life is his body. That also going to buried in the ground. Our land, our life and all are the Bolingbroke's. So all his lands, even his life is also in the hand of the Bolingbroke, because he had captured, okay, he win the war. And nothing we can call our own but death. So he don't possess anything, he don't have anything. Only thing is there, that is death. And the small model of the barren earth, which serves as a paste and cover of our bone, for God's sake, let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the death of the king. So here the only thing is there, he is the small model of the barren earth means simply the small model, which barren means not use earth is there, that is his body. And how he is explaining, which serves as a paste and covered of our bone. So the skins had covered his bone, that is served as a paste and covered with his bone. For the God's sake, let us sit upon the ground. கடவுளோட புண்ணியத்தில் we can sit, he is telling, so sit on the ground and here they and tell some sad stories of the death of the king. So they are going to sit there and they are going to say something about the deaths of kings. So many kings had died in the earth, so he is going to discuss about that sad stories. So the first, this is the first stanza you have to remember. So the first, he is beginning the poem that he is going to talk. Let us talk about the graves, worms and the epitaphs, and for that he is going to write that in the paper of making the dust into the paper, and he is shedding his tears as a things which we help him to write. And here he is going to narrate all his sorrows. At the time he is thinking that he might call the executor and make them to write a will. At the time only he is remembering that he don't have anything, all these things belongs to only Bolingbroke. So here nothing he has, the only thing is remaining, that is his death and his body. That body also is going to surrender to the ground. So he is explaining about the ground, he is comparing the ground. See, make dust or paper and with rainy eyes, that is a metaphor. He is comparing, make dust of our paper. So he is going to make this paper as dust as a paper. Here he had used the comparison. And save our deposed bodies to the ground, and nothing we can, only thing is there, that is a death. And he is telling the small model of the barren earth. He is comparing his body as a small model of the barren earth. So here he is at God's sake, he is going to sit down on the ground and going to say all the sad stories of the king who has died. Let us see what are the things he is going to explain in the further lines. So, how somehow be deposed, some slain in war, some haunted by the ghosts that have deposed, some poisoned by their wives, and some sleeping killed, all murders for within the hollow crown. So here the hollow crown is also he is comparing that it's to the earth. Okay, have you all seen that crown, how it will be? It don't have in Bahubali and all, we can see that in that they will crown them. That crown, it has only the outer, inside that nothing will be there. So likewise he is comparing the hollow crown to the earth. Okay, here there is a comparison he is using for the earth. Okay, see, So, in this, how some had deposed I told you already, making them to bringing down from the power, they are making powerless. Some slain means they killed, some was declined and some was killed, and some haunted by the ghost they have deposed. So, the Lady Macbeth and Macbeth, they in this play he had used some ghost and all. So, likewise some was haunted by the ghost, and some poisoned by their wives. Their wives, they had poisoned their husband and they make them to kill. Some sleeping killed, while sleeping itself they some were killed. All murdered only because for within the hollow crown. So, all the thing which is happening in the world is only in the world. That is the hollow crown he had used the comparison to the earth. Okay. That round the mortal temple of the king. The mortal temple of the king means it is a mortal means the end. It will destroy. Immortal means it's live long forever. Alivilla. Okay. Mortal means it is going to end, unstable. So, all that rounds the mortal temple of the king means here again he is describing this hollow crown as a mortal temple of the king. It means it won't be constant for the king. It will be keep on moving. It won't be stable. Mortal temples of the kings. Okay. So, here temple, it also has a meaning that we will say the forehead between the eyebrows. Here this place is called temple. Okay, in all human beings. So, where we will place the crown here. So, this forehead is called as a temple. Okay, so this is not permanent to anyone. That's why he had said the hollow crown is a mortal temple of the king. Okay. Keep death his court, and there is an antic sits scoffing at his states and grinning at its pops, allowing him a breath, a little scene, to monarchize, be afraid and kill with looks, infusing him with the self and the vain consent, as it fits this flesh will walls about our life, where brass impregnable and humoured thus comes at the last, and with a little pin bores through his castle wall and farewell king. Again, see, keep death his court, and there the antic sits. So, here he is personified the death with the gesture. Okay, joker. So, in his court itself, the death is sitting there, and it is watching him. And how it is watching? See, it's watching him and it's laughing in a silly way. That is a scoffing his slate and the grinning at its pope. It means grinning means very silly way. If it's laugh, that is it, smiling. Okay, and also the death allowing him to do what other things let him do. So, death is there, it's in front of us. It may come at any time. Likewise, the death is sitting in his court and waiting to see what he is doing, and it's allowing him to breathe means வாழ்ந்துட்டு போ, எவ்வளோ நாளும் வாழ்ந்துட்டு போ அப்படின்னு சொல்லி என்னது ஒரு எக்காலமாக ஒரு ஜோக்காக நகைச்சுவையாக அதை பார்த்து என்ன பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கு, அந்த கோர்ட்டில் உட்காந்து சிரிச்சிட்டு இருக்கு, கிங்கோட கோர்ட்டில். he says in that way, infusing him in the self and the vain conceits, as if this flesh will which walls about our life were brace impregnable and humoured thus. So, he is making impregnable means the man who is a king, he has a power that he may think that nothing will come and penetrate us. Impregnable, it won't penetrate, that is impregnable. So, he is thinking that he is a brave and death cannot come and meet him. He is in that such a brave condition. So, for him it is making him, it's allowing, the death is allowing him to breathe for a while. Okay, let us see. So, come at the end last, and with a little pin bores through his castle wall and farewell king. So, the death is coming as a little pin, it's entering and he is bidding farewell. Farewell means death, ending. So, it's making the king as a death. அந்த உயிர் என்னது ஒரு சின்ன குண்டூசி மாதிரி என்ன பண்ணுது, அந்த சாவை நம்மளை எடுத்துகிட்டு போகுது அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறார். This is the thing he is explained here. So, traditionally, covers your head and mock not of flesh and the blood, with a solemn reverence, threw away the respect, tradition, forms and ceremonial duty, For you have but mistaken me all the while. I live with the bread like you, feel want, taste grief, need friends, subjected this. How can you say me, I am a king? See here, so he is telling, cover your head, mock not flesh and blood, with solemn reverence, throw away respect. So what he is telling, if someone dies if some police officers or army officers, if they die, what they will, if any death is there, what they will do, the police, they will remove their cap, they will remove their hat to respect them. That is the way how they are respecting. So in some officials or higher officials, if they die, we have to remove it, remove our cap. Okay, it means that we are showing our respect to the dead body of that particular personality. So here the Richard II is asking the followers not to remove, cover your head means don't want to remove your hat to show any respect to him. He asking them to throw away all the respects, throw away all the formalities, throw away all the ceremonious duties, the formal respects, whatever we are going to do for the last end. So on the இறுதி சடங்குக்கெல்லாம் மரியாதை செலுத்த வேண்டாம். He is telling in that way. For you have must mistook me all the while. So he is telling for all means here the for is he is using instead of because. Why he is telling them not to show respect to him? Because you all but mistaken me all this while. So you are mistaken me that I am a, why why the people had mistaken, the followers are mistaken him, because he is also king is also a normal person. In olden days and all, now we are not going to respect anyone as a minister or prime minister, chief minister, or whatever minister they mean, whatever higher authorities they are, we will treat them as a equal human beings. They are not differ from us. Simply we ourselves are represented him as a leader of that particular political party and they are ruling us. But in the olden days, the king are considered as a representative of the god. They will think that the king himself is a god. Okay. So at this condition, he is telling, I am not somewhat different from you people, because I am eating the bread what you are eating. I also taste some sorrows. I also gone through some, I also have some needs like what you are having. So how I will subjected this means I am also living in the same condition what you are living, and how can you call me as a king? So he is raising the question towards the followers. What are the difficulty a common man is facing in his life? The same difficulty the king also facing in his life. He also has the happiness and the sorrow. He also has the duties and the responsibility. Okay. So how he is going to differ from the common man? So he is telling, I am also like you. So after the death, you no need to show any respects to me. So here the last two, this whole poem is going to explain about after the defeat of the king. He is talking about the graveyards, what are the things he is going to say, and he is narrating the sad stories of the death of the kings, and he explains about the various causes of the people they are dying. At the end, after the death, he is thinking, he is telling to the followers, after the death you no need to show any respect. So at the end of the moment, he is realizing that he also like a common living being. So there is no difference between the king and the normal person. Okay, so this is, and the end he is rising to question to the people, the follower, how why they are calling him as a king. Okay, how can you say me, I am a king? So he is ending that poem. So most of his poems are very interesting and plays are very interesting. If you find time, you read some of, you will really enjoy. Okay. So keep on reading, and I am going to give you an assignment that you are going to write about Shakespeare, that you have to divide it into this early life, literary life, and also you are going to explain few of his tragedies and comedies. Okay, no need to, because we had studied something about the historical. So you have to categorize what are the plays will come under comedy and what are the play will come under in the tragic. Okay. You have to write, you read some at least 2-3 and you have to write about it. Let me see how many of them is going to do that. Okay, make the language learning will be interesting. Okay, thank you my dear students. I hope you understand. Kindly read the poem 1 or 2 times for your better understanding. It will helpful for you to write the ERC and appreciation question without any mistakes. Okay. I hope you understand each and every line. Thank you.